Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille Show. It's Jerry Miller. It's damn good to be with you today. It's Tuesday. It's gorgeous outside. We are fired up on the I Love CVille Show because entrepreneurship is in the air. Billy Farley in the house from Chill Bill's Italian Ice. We're going to spotlight the successes, the struggles, the trials, the tribulations, the evolution of the brand. Billy Farley and how he came with this concept, came to market. I'm so excited to showcase an entrepreneur who's doing good things for this community on the I Love CVille Show. Give it a like, give it a share on any of the channels that you're watching across the I Love CVille network. If you'd like to dictate the pace and the tempo of the program by putting some perspective, some questions, some thoughts in the chat box of any of the Facebook pages you're watching, I will relay that perspective to Billy Farley himself. Before we go anywhere, let's thank a few of the sponsors that make the program possible. First, one of our favorite clients, Intrastate Pest and Service Companies. Since 1969, this 4-generation strong business has been making Charlottesville and the Commonwealth a better place for everybody. This business started with one man and one truck, Mr. Wells, in 1969. Today, almost 100 employees and a 4-generation family business. Headquarters right around the corner from Bodo's Bagels, an office in Richmond, and an office in the Shenandoah Valley. It's Intrastate Pest and Service Companies. We'll also give some props to the good doctor, Scotty Wagner, Dr. Scott Wagner of Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. Chiropractic care, physical therapy, sports medicine. Dr. Wagner and his team are changing people's lives. Who's got your back? Dr. Wagner's got your back. Both those businesses, proud clients of VMV Brands, our advertising agency right here in the Macklin building on Market Street. Harris Tolber is our director. Judah Wickower helped produces the program. I thank Harris, my friend. Let's go to the studio cam, and let's welcome Billy Farley. Billy, que pasa? How you doing, homie?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. First, we start with the flip book of you, the person, before we get into the entrepreneurship. So, Billy Farley, start to finish, passions, hobbies, interests, what you like, what you stand for, who you are about.
Sure. So to keep it simple, my name is Billy. I'm from New Jersey originally, moved to Virginia when I was 12, so kind of half and half. It's kind of hard to say where I'm from exactly. Graduated from Fluvanna, moved to Charlottesville right after when I was 18. Kind of fell in love with the city. It's a great place to live, great place to be, a lot of different people. Passions, mainly my 2 dogs, really, Jackson and Misty, and spend time with them and my wife, Abby. I like playing hockey, just keeping active, running, fishing, and I'm also a member of the Virginia Army National Guard, so that also kind of is like my second half of who I am today.
I love it. I love it. So hockey in your blood from your time in New Jersey?
No. So I actually started playing when I moved down here. I used to wrestle when I was a little kid.
Interesting.
I moved down here. I've always loved hockey.
Okay.
I used to beg my mom to play.
Yeah.
Never really had money. It's an expensive sport.
Sure.
We moved down here. This is back when it was the ice park.
Okay.
And I started just getting on my skates, and then piece by piece got equipment, doing a little drop-in, and finally joined the team, became part of the travel team, the Charlottesville Bears, and did that mostly throughout high school.
So you like the physicality aspect of hockey?
Yes.
You like the physicality aspect of wrestling? I mean, I'm looking at you here. You're jacked, dude. You got huge freaking forearms and biceps.
It's deceiving.
Talk to us about what you love about those sports.
Like you said, the physicality. I've always been like super competitive growing up. I grew up with 2 cousins, Thomas and Colin, and we were 6 months apart. So growing up, I mean, shoot, ever since I was 3, I just remember wrestling them and fighting them, practicing WWE moves on each other. We played baseball together, football together, wrestled together. I mean, we did it all.
I love it. Give it a like, give it a share on any of the Facebook pages that you're watching. Ray Cadell's watching. He says, we love Billy's products.
Thank you, Ray.
He delivered to my office. Is he delivering today? I think the answer could be yes.
Sure
The price
am.
is right,
Sure
right?
am, yeah.
He's got a cooler next to his feet right now. We're excited to try 4 flavors of Chill Bill's Italian Ice. Before we get to that, I want to hear, and this is going to continue the first sizzle reel, start with the question that I asked about Billy, who he was as a person. Through this answer, Harris Tolber, talk to us about the evolution of the business.
So yeah, the business is still so young. I really kicked off in January with all my equipment and ready to sell. But Italian Ice in January is kind of tricky, right? But the idea really formed, I guess, I just got home from a deployment, so I had a little money saved up, and I just decided, I want to do something. I want to be my own boss. What can I do? I'm, 21 years old, and I thought, food trucks, that sounds nice. Maybe like a hot dog cart, that sounds nice. What can I do that it's just me? I don't need an overhead, and the light bulb kind of just went off, there's no Italian ice carts down in Charlottesville. We're down in Virginia, really, in this area. So I took that idea, I kind of ran with it. It kind of took over my whole free time. I obsessed about it, studied it, and from there it just came to fruition. I obviously wasn't able to do it right away just because of the cost. I ended up buying a house, so that kind of set me back. I didn't want to, go all in, and so I delayed it. I sold Subarus for a while, continued to go to school, and I believe it was about a year ago, I was sitting on the beach with my friends, and I just remember thinking, yeah, no, I'm done selling cars. I'm done with that hustle. It's time for me to do my own thing. And I went back and I quit and went to school full-time and researched full-time and decided by next summer I was going to be on the ground. So that whole fall of last year, I was researching my butt off. You could ask Abby, my wife, I was up till 1 and 2 in the morning, researching. And come December, I got my cart, got it wrapped by Frontrunner Studios right down the road.
Nice. We use them too. They're great.
They're awesome.
Ed's the man.
Ed is the man.
Yeah.
I got my machine in January, and from there I was in business. Just had to make the connections and get out there.
Chill Bill's Italian Ice. Love the name.
Yeah.
Love the brand. Tell us the story.
So that's kind of a funny story. I was at the car dealership. A slow day. It might have been raining, and we were in the showroom just BSing. And it was me and my buddy Sean, and we were thinking just names, and we got Chili Willies, Chili Billies, and he said Chill Bills. I said, stop right there, that's it, we're doing that.
How about the brand, the moniker, the graphic design?
Yeah.
It looks great, dude. It's fresh.
Thank you. So the idea behind that was, I don't know if you're familiar with the game Fallout. There's a boy, I never played it, but I just remember it's such a iconic image. It's like a blue-haired boy, and he has like his thumbs up like that. And I thought, I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna hold an Italian ice. I'm gonna make it me. So I went on Fiverr, and I paid some guy from Sri Lanka. It was a huge language barrier, getting that done. But I sent him a picture of me. The first draft came out. I mean, it was almost insulting what he threw back at me. And so a couple of just drafts, and he came back with the one that's now my logo.
I love it. That's the end of that first sizzle reel right there. I'm loving where this interview is going. Harris Tolber, you're a laid back dude. Corbett Snow, welcome to the show. Terry Cadell, Neil Williamson, thank you for joining us. Art Wheeler, hello. Give it a like, give it a share on any of the Facebook pages you're watching. Let's thank some of the friends that are watching on your page right now. Michael Gapensky.
Yeah, that's my good Army buddy.
All right, he's watching. Devin Keith is watching. Give Chill Bill a like, give him a share. All right, let's talk about why Italian ice. Now, you touched on it a little bit. There's not a lot of competition in the category locally.
Yep.
So, smart businessman, you're targeting a category that's not saturated. Talk to us more about why Italian ice.
Sure. So, growing up, I always remember, it's such a nice memory, playing Pop Warner football. And after Pop Warner football, we used to go over to Maglione's Italian Ice. Maglione's Italian Ice, they have almost a mini empire on central New Jersey.
Okay.
And I was fortunate enough to go to school with some of the Magliones, and in my grade was Christina. And we were in the same friends group, and I remember going over her house, and we used to have parties and whatnot. And don't tell our parents. But I remember thinking, yeah, they're not poor. So a few years down the road, that was just kind of like a flashback. And, one thing I always like to tell people who are aspiring to open up their businesses, you don't necessarily have to have a passion for Italian ice. I don't live, breathe, and die Italian ice.
Okay.
But it's just something that there was a hole in the market, and I grabbed it, and I'm familiar with it. I like it. I enjoy it. So why not?
Talk to us about what we can expect. I want to talk trials, tribulations, successes, and struggles. I'm a positive guy. Glass is half full. Okay. What positive has happened so far in a very young business for Chill Bill's Italian Ice?
Sure. So just the immediate feedback of the product itself. I've been very lucky to being able to start in January because I was able to practice my batches and get good at it. And when I was able to hit the market officially, I just immediately had such good feedback, and people always wanted me to come back and wanting more. One extremely positive thing that happened to me was before the business was even live, when it was an idea, you'd like to, kind of an assurance, say, where can I set up? So one of the places I went to all the school websites, and I emailed every single athletic director in the area. Louisa, Fluvan, I mean, you name it, I emailed them. Now keep in mind, I didn't even have my logo at this time, I don't think.
Right.
So this, I mean.
You're straight up hustling, dude.
Yeah, so when they see this email, what are they going to do? Delete. You know, they don't really care. But Monticello's athletic director, Matthew Pierman, he said, let's set up a meeting. I came in. I didn't even have the ice at the time. I just kind of said, this is what I'm about. I'd love to be part of the Mustang, community. And he said, I love it. He said, come back once you're a business. And I came back when I was a business, brought maybe like 100 samples. We gave them out to the teachers, some kids, and they loved it. He invited me to a basketball game. I killed it, and I knew from there, I might have a little something here.
The cool thing about Italian Ice is it's got like this like innovative, fresh, like modern, like cool. I mean, and I'm not knocking people in like gelato or ice cream or anything like that. There's something about Italian Ice, dude, though, that is just like freaking hip.
Yeah.
I mean, talk to me about that.
Well, Italian Ice, I mean, no one really knows kind of like where it originated from. Obviously, you look in New York City and they have tons of Italian Ice shops. Some hardcore Italians, they run those, and it's just almost like a classic. When people reminisce on their childhood, they think of when they got Italian Ice, kind of like when I did when I was thinking, what should I do? But no, you're right. It's not like gelato. It's not like, the sorbet brands or the froyo that's coming out. It's a little bit different. And it kind of appeals to a different market where it's not ice cream. It's just a whole different animal when it comes to like frozen dessert, but it's also not, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's right on par with all the other ones.
Matt Tyler, welcome to the program. You're homie.
Yep.
Nicholas, is it Grindelin?
Grindelin, my other Army buddy, me and him and Gapinski, we spent pretty much every day on deployment together.
I love it. Welcome to the show. Christine says hello. Give him a like and give him a share, guys, on any of the Facebook pages you're watching. We're spotlighting an entrepreneur and a man who has served our country here on the I Love CVille Show. We're going to get to that service in a matter of moments. First, I want to create a second sizzle reel. Harris Tolber, here's the second one ready to happen. You've touched on this a little bit. The question for you, Harris, entrepreneur, starting a business from scratch, launching a company. Give some advice to all the folks that are watching. And the good, the bad, and the ugly, please.
Yeah, so I'll start with the bad, obviously. You need to obsess about it. You need to almost forget about everything else, and there's no shortcuts, there's no breaks when you're opening a business or starting a business. You have to go all in. And that's something like starting up that people have told me, I'll give a shout out to Andre Xavier. I met with him.
CVille Hop On Tours.
Yeah. So
he's the man.
Yeah, I drive for them sometimes, so
nice.
I'm familiar with him. But I remember I spoke with him. He was having an event. He had me come out, and he said, like what you said on your show before, this is your baby. This is what you're raising, this baby, and you can't abandon your baby. You can't not feed your baby, and the time and equity that you're putting into the business is feeding your baby. So you can't let your baby starve. You gotta just grow, and when you're feeding your baby, you're also not doing all the other things you enjoy, like going out with your friends sometimes, stuff like that. So just be ready to completely obsess about what you're going to do. And you don't have to necessarily be passionate about it. You just got to be passionate about making it successful.
How about the other advice you would offer? You talked about the tough aspects, and I totally agree. Our business, and let's keep that sizzle reel going here, Harris. 11 years for this business. I have a 15-month-old son, and I have an 11-year-old son. And my 11-year-old son just happens to be this business here, okay? My 15-month-old son is being kept alive by my wife, who's managing project management, payables and receivables, and social media management while having our son on her other knee, computer on one knee. This is a family business. We are locked and loaded. Our livelihood, our mortgage payments, the food we feed our kid depends on what happens in this office here. To say there's pressure is an understatement.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it to you here. Managing the pressure, managing time. I work 80 hours a week. Sacrificing things like vacation. One vacation in 11 years, our honeymoon came back pregnant. Okay? That opened up a Pandora's box that we were not prepared to tackle, but we're tackling it right now. Talk to us about that. All the stuff.
Sure. So you have to be ready to do things that you're not going to want to do. But people who do the things that they don't want to do, or people who do the things that other people don't want to do reap the rewards that they necessarily wouldn't have had otherwise.
That was legit right there.
So, for example, I just got married about a week and a half ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I went on my honeymoon, and we came back on my birthday. So I turned 24, and that day I knew, all right, I have an event tomorrow on the 30th. So I spent all day making ice. My birthday was gone with the wind. So those are things you're going to have to sacrifice,
I love it. That right there is the end of the second sizzle reel, and that was fantastic. So a week and a half ago, you got married.
Yep.
Came back on your birthday.
My birthday.
You're 24 years old.
Yep.
You're grinding right now.
Thanks.
Talk to me about what the wife is thinking, the better half is thinking here, getting into a marriage with an entrepreneur and business owner.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, that's no easy task. A lot of times you're
No.
marrying the man or the woman and also the business.
Yeah, and it's we've been together since high school.
Awesome.
So yeah, I asked her to prom, and then a week later we became one, and so we've been doing this together for a while. Now it's just legal. But when this was just an idea, like when I was 21 thinking about it, she had like a kind of a hard time accepting it, and it makes me nervous. She's not one.
She's risk adverse?
Yes, she's
Okay.
not one to embrace
But she
change.
married you.
She did, yeah. So it's kind of the yin-yang aspect. And we were talking about this yesterday. We balance each other.
Love that.
But so, yeah, she's very not risk adverse. She's very, very, she likes this very stable life. She's an elementary school teacher. And me, I like to go almost all in all the time.
You like to go balls to the wall.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Exactly.
How did Billy Farley charm his wife? First, the prom story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Was that tough?
No, it wasn't tough.
Okay.
So Devin Keith, he was my best man. So
Okay.
he kind of, without him, we wouldn't be together really.
Okay.
We'll go back to my
Tell us the story.
my junior year of high school.
Okay.
I poked her on Facebook.
Okay, he
Yeah.
poked her on
And,
Facebook. There it is.
yeah, and then there wasn't really nothing going on for like a year, And then Halloween of that year, so Halloween of my senior year, we went over to our friend Jake's house in the basement. We were watching Chernobyl, that scary movie.
Okay.
And I remember she was wearing like a toga, and we were sitting.
Why was she wearing a toga?
It was Halloween.
Okay,
It was
gotcha.
Halloween.
Sorry. Okay.
So
what was your costume?
Oh shoot! I remember. I worked at McDonald's.
Okay.
So I went as a McDonald's employee.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your costume was your uniform for what you were doing for your job.
Yeah,
So
smelled like
very
French fries.
creative.
Yeah, it smelled like French fries.
Okay.
I probably came from work, to be honest. But no, we talked for a while, and then that's when like Twitter was really a thing. So we'd always play on Twitter, and then eventually she was in my weight training class and conditioning, and we just hung out every single day after that. And
At
then-
Fluvanna?
At Fluvanna High School.
Okay.
And then one leading that to another, and I asked her to prom. I'll tell you the story about that. So it's always a joke.
Is this going to be the rated R story?
No.
Okay, because you can.
Yeah, no. We'll keep it. I'm pretty sure her dad's watching.
Okay. All right.
But she, there was always a joke that Abby would do anything for Billy. Abby would do anything for Billy. So I used to pick and pry, like, hey, go get me like a chocolate milk, and she would, and we'd all laugh, whatever. So finally, one day, I was asking her prom. Obviously butterflies in my stomach, and I made a sign with my friend Devin. We worked on it. I mean, for hours. The detail we put into it was insane. There's probably a picture on Facebook of it way back in the day. But I played lacrosse, and I said, "Hey Abby, can you go get my lacrosse stick out of my trunk?" And of course, the first time ever, she said, "You know what, Abby, or you know what, Billy? No, I'm not doing that. I'm done. I'm done doing this. It's over." And I was like, "Abby, please, please go get it." And finally, she opened it up, and she cried, and it was just a good day. And then a week later, we officially got together.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. What do you love about your wife?
Oh, her. Shoot, where do I start? First off, her cooking. She'll appreciate that. She is the head chef of our household.
Nice.
Like I said, she keeps me kind of sane, keeps me from going overboard with my ideas, because I can get a little too ambitious, and she'll say, like,
Reel it in, Billy?
yeah, Billy, don't calm down,
What else you love?
She's very, very nurturing. So we don't have any kids yet, but she works with 6-year-olds. And she's
Wow,
worked with
props to
kids.
her.
I mean, ever since she was a teenager. And just like her love for children, and just really her love for anyone. She would do anything for anyone. No questions asked.
I love that answer. You got an order. Someone wants to place an order on the show for you.
Let's do it.
Ray Cadell says, I am ready to order on air whenever you are. Ray Cadell, put your order in the chat box, and we'll pass it to Billy. I think you're about to make some money today.
Let's do it.
On the I Love CVille show. Let us know what your order is, Ray. Are you going to drop it off today? Do you drop it off tomorrow? How does that work?
We'll see. I'm packing up for my annual training
Okay.
today, but I'll get it to you, Ray.
Okay, fantastic. I would be remiss not to bring up your service to our country. Third sizzle reel waiting to happen here. Billy Farley, put in perspective your service to the United States of America, please.
Sure. So growing up, I've always knew I wanted to serve in some capacity, and going through school and stuff, I just wasn't sure what branch. When I was a little kid, it was always I was going to be a Marine. And then maybe when I got to high school, I thought it might be more practical for me to join the Army, get some more on the site training, stuff like that. And then I got together with Abby, and I don't think I wanted to go active duty right from the gate. She was going to JMU. I didn't want to get stationed in Hawaii, or Germany, something like that. So I stayed home. I went to PVCC. We didn't have a whole lot of money, at the time. So I knew going to ODU, wherever I was going to go, it would have been silly to take out all those loans and do that. So I went to PVCC, and that, I guess, November, I got in touch with the National Guard recruiter and told him, I want to do it. So I enlisted December 22nd or December 23rd, 2013. So coming up on 6 years, and I've been a medic with the Army National Guard here ever since.
How does being a medic with the Army National Guard and being an entrepreneur, I've got to think that there's some commonalities or some things that you've learned from one that apply to the other that can help you scale.
Yeah, sure. One thing that I could think off the top of my head, logistics. I mean, the logistics that goes with the Army is you really have to be good at being able to manage 7 different moving parts or soldiers at once. Same thing like when I was a company medic. If something were to happen, like a mass casualty, you've got 10, 12 guys that are out for the count now. You have to work with a first sergeant or a platoon sergeant, and you're managing the treatment. You're getting your junior medics to do something. You're the tip of the spear right there. And when you're an entrepreneur, you are also the tip of the spear of that business. Underneath that spear, you wear all hats: accountant, CFO, CEO. Advertise everything. So I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand.
I love that answer. That answer was fire right there. And the sizzle reel on that, unless he hits a home run with this question, which I think he will here. A lot of people offering perspective. Guys, I will relay all your comments and your questions and your love and props to Billy, to him on air in a matter of moments. Also, we will ask him what flavors he asks. He's got a cooler of flavors right next to him. I got 4 spoons in my hand. I can't wait to eat some Italian ice, baby. How about this? Do you, I always ask this question to my buddies that serve. I feel like anyone who has served our country should be championed and put on a pedestal and revered and just hugged, given props, high fives, handshakes, all the above. You put in perspective the attention or the thanks or the gratitude or perhaps the lack thereof that you have received for servicing the country, please.
There's definitely no there's no shyness in. I mainly go down to Lynchburg or Bedford, and when I go down there and I'm in uniform, I mean the love that you get from going into a diner, you could almost count that some old couple is going to pay for your meal. It's a different place. But I mean, you could ask, Abby. I'm not one to when people come up and thank me for my service. It's kind of just awkward, But I feel like it's just something that I feel like I had to do and something that I've always wanted to do. So I don't know. Just getting thanked for it is just kind of weird, But that's a tricky one to answer.
And the sizzle reel there. I thought that was a very genuine and authentic answer. Olivia Brands is watching. Give Olivia some props right now.
Yes, thank you, Olivia, for everything you have done for me. She is like a kind of second mother or a older sister to my sister, and we've met, I believe, once, maybe twice, and she's been giving me nothing but love, and I don't even think she's had my Italian ice, so I'll get you some soon, Olivia.
Antonio Aisha watching right now. Sandor Farkas watching right now. Give it a like, give it a share on any of the streams that you're watching. I'm going to relay some positive commentary for any of the folks that are watching right now. Hannah Farley says, I am a proud sister, Billy.
Thank you, Anna.
You're getting some props on the Chill Bills page from Carson Ann, who's watching in Harrisonburg. Billy is such a great guy. Devin Keith, Billy is the greatest guy to ever do it. Devin, for your wedding?
He's my best man.
Your best man. Devin Keith is giving you some props. Give it a like, give it a share on any of the channels. Andre Xavier from CVille Hop On Tour says Billy will go far. Abigail Renee Farley, all natural, gluten-free, and dairy-free, and Billy's the man.
Yep, that's my wife.
She's watching right now. When you have, I mean, talk about family here. I mean, your family, I can already tell. Jessica shared it. Your wife shared it. Your sister's on board here. You got family watching. Put in perspective, family, what it means to Billy Farley.
Yeah, sure. So I've gotten nothing but support from them from the get-go. Growing up, my dad was disabled when I was younger, so we kind of had a different upbringing. So the sense that we kind of had to like stick together and grow was always there. So yeah, it's just always, family is just so important. And we may not always be together. Like Hannah lives in New Jersey and Jesse's now in Aspen. So we're always separate, but when we come together, it's just we're picking right back up where we left off.
How about, you touched on this already, you as a father on the horizon?
Not yet, but
you're thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely always been the plan of me and Abby to have some kids. We always talk like what are we gonna name them?
What are you gonna name them?
We'll say that's a secret. I don't know if I want to reveal that.
You don't want to reveal that? Okay.
No.
I feel like you're gonna crush it as a dad.
I hope so. I like to think like I don't know. I'm just like when I'm in the Army. Like when I have my Joes under me, I love that. I like having people to take care of.
James Watson, welcome to the show. Rachel Burns, hello. Jessica Pasternak, thank you for joining us here on the program. Give it a like, give it a share on any of the channels that you're watching. 1, 3, and 5-year goals for Chill Bills Italian Ice. What are we thinking?
Sure. So 1 year, I definitely want to expand my fleet. Right now, I'm just one man with one cart. So I'm really limited on what I could do every weekend. I've had to say no, unfortunately, which kills me because you're turning down money. So hopefully this winter I'll go back up and I'll pick up another cart, and that way next year I could be at 2 locations at once. Shoot, 3 years, hopefully maybe I'll have someone running it for me. In 5 years, hopefully I'll be in Hawaii or Florida.
There you go. I love the big dreaming right here. Walk us through the logistics and the strategies and maybe the financials of scaling the business, like maybe the cost of a cart, the cost of making the Italian Ice. Show is yours.
Sure. So the cart in itself, I mean, obviously it's a little bit of an expense. One thing that made it a little bit more expensive is the health department here requires a hand washing sink that's got to have a hot water heater. So I had to get it almost custom made, to meet all the requirements here. So that jumped up the price, which kind of limited me on like what else I wanted to do from the get-go. But now that I have that done, it's set in stone. I have a really nice cart that could hold a lot of ice. And then the other part of it is making the ice. So when I was starting this business, I was thinking, man, there's 2 ways to do this. I could buy it wholesale and put it in a freezer and sell, excuse my language, but that crap. It's gonna be full of syrup. It's gonna be, just not good for you. I decided I was going to do it the Charlottesville way. People in Charlottesville, they eat that up. The all natural, gluten-free, dairy-free. I don't use anything artificial. It's all natural.
Do you see the business scaling in a brick and mortar ever, or do you see the business primarily as like these mobile point of sales that can be strategically positioned at like music venues, parades, festivals, etc.?
Yes, that's something that it's really too early to tell.
Okay.
I was looking at a place out where I live in Gordonsville out there, and it just again Abby kind of kept me in check and was like, yeah, I don't know about that, and I was like, yeah, you're right. Once I cooled down, I slept on it. But a brick and mortar, it would be awesome. But then you're looking at overhead. One thing that I liked from this business model from the get-go was the lack of overhead. I'm able to do all these things without paying rent every month, and that's a huge saver.
I'm just going to spitball with you. Chris Markham is watching right now. He says, Chill Bills is the real deal. #Fluco Nation.
Yeah.
This guy's Fluvanna County's finest right here. Served our country. He's an entrepreneur and a business owner with some big dreams. Spitballing with you. Owner of an ad agency. Who's 11 years deep. scale the business into real estate investment as well. I personally would stay away from a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
I would go strategic mobile point of sales that you can position like at big time events with high traffic people. Then I would leverage the hell out of social media where you're building a content brand, where you're creating this brand on social, and maybe it's like behind the scenes of making the Italian ice. Or this is what my plan is for today from an entrepreneur standpoint. This is where I'm going for today. You're constantly posting across social the location you're going to be at. I see you having, and it's going to be a military reference to the serviceman here, having a fleet of point of sale, mobile point of sales, where you're no longer behind one of the point of sales, but you're managing an army of lieutenants below you as the general. And then you have maybe 8 to 10 point of sales that can be at the Sprint Pavilion on the downtown mall, that can be around UVA for like a tailgating event, that could be at Crozet, maybe it's Western Albemarle High School that's having like a football or a baseball game somewhere in Fluvanna, and maybe Forest Lakes, maybe it's the Jefferson Swim League, and next thing you know, you are posting mobile number 1 is here, mobile number 2 is there, mobile number 3 is there, and then you're hopping from venue to venue, cart to cart, monitoring your team, your lieutenants, your inventory, making sure people are happy. Then you become the face of the business, like I've done with I Love CVille and this business here, and you're managing folks that work for you. Talk to me about that concept in general.
Yeah, so that's kind of the goal, is to be at as many places as I can at once, because like I said, I'm limited to me, myself, and one cart. One reference, like, going back to Hop On, that's kind of what they do.
John Craig is watching CVille Hop On Tours.
Thank Craig. But so with Hop On, they have Sharon, and she is kind of the tip of that spear, and then above her, of course, is John and Andre. But below Sharon, she is the backup bus. She is driving to all the other Hop On buses that are all at once. So yeah, if you were to compare it to my business, ideally I would have not Hop On, but Chill Bill's carts, different locations, and I would check up on them and be into different parks and events and such forth.
I'm excited about the future of your business because I feel like if you leverage social media and digital marketing, you can build this like killer brand, and each cart has got, it doesn't accompany like a 5-year lease, a 5-year triple net lease where you're responsible for the build out yourself. You need a cart. You need a trusted team member. You need to do some training, and then you say go. Yeah. So like this model is totally scalable. How do you see, and throw some advice out there, and John Craig says, yeah, buddy. Yeah. He put on the stream right now. CVille Hop On Tours, John Craig, good friend of this program. How do you see digital and social media being a part of this play here? Because I feel like this is a freaking huge aspect of your business.
Yeah, so if you were not on social media, you might as well just not be in business. Period. That's something you have to leverage. It's free, it's there, everybody is on it, so why not? You could get out to the masses. Just like today, when I was sharing your post, I was able to, take your audience, spill it over to my audience. Now people from the Army all over the country know that I'm on this show. So it's to have the Charlottesville network.
You have Harrisonburg, you have DC, you have Richmond, you have Charlottesville, and outside Chapel Hill watching you right now. Awesome. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Social media on point, and an order just came in here. Let's talk about the owner. Man, dude, you got your mother-in-law giving you some props right now. Is it Nan Rennery Hutcherson?
Yeah, Nan Rennie Hutcherson.
She says, you are a keeper, son-in-law. I love you and Chill Bill's Italian ice baby. I love that comment right there. An order just came in, and this is from Ray.
Awesome.
He says, Ray, you know where my office is, Billy. I would like 3 of the large containers, lemon, coconut, and Bill's favorite pick.
You got it, Ray.
Okay.
Right up.
Ray, the order is coming your way. Talk to us about the flavors and the evolution of the menu.
Sure. So I get some flavoring from a certified organic place out of Illinois, and they have a whole list. And I knew I didn't want 20 flavors. I'm a mobile cart. I should probably keep it down to 4 or 5. So what I did was I got around 10 flavors that I play around with, and I'll keep 4, maybe 5 on the menu at any given day. Definitely blue raspberry is, my best seller by far. It's not even a competition. When I have strawberry, that's always killing it. I've been, spinning around with cherry. Cherry's been a good one. But anyone who knows Italian ice knows that lemon is a classic.
I'm excited to try some Italian ice. Fellas, you guys want to rock? All right, let's bust it out. Harris, you go studio cam and whatever cam you see fit right here. He's got a cooler. This is one of my favorite aspects of the job. We got Italian ice in the house. I got peach. We got mango right here. Dude, I really love the sticker on the container.
Thanks.
I really love the branding. As someone who does branding, the branding is so freaking cool and so scalable. We got blue raspberry. This one's going to be my favorite. Blue raspberry in the house. We got, is it Pina Colada?
Pina Colada.
Pina Colada. All right, where should I go first? And then give us the breakdown of the flavor profile.
Sure. So I guess just start with Pina Colada.
All right, Pina Colada first.
And that's going to be...
I'm going to double dip this spoon. Is that all right?
That's fine.
Okay, double dip in the spoon.
And then Pina Colada, you'll get just, the perfect hint of coconut, pineapple, and there's actually real fresh pineapples in there, so you'll get some chunks.
Ooh, I got the chunks.
Yeah.
This is good, dude.
Thanks.
It's got a great finish. And how it's different from other Italian ices that I've had is the chunks are in the Italian ice.
Yeah.
And this is like organic. You said it's organic?
Yeah, organic, vegan. It's all natural. We don't use any fake coloring. There's no red dye number 40. We use red beet juice for cherry or for strawberry. For our blue,
This is so good.
I told you it's addicting.
This is so effing good right here.
For the blue, a lot of people ask, how do you get that blue? We use spirulina powder. And then for mango and peach, we use annatto extract.
All right, I'm going to peach.
Yeah.
What do you think my favorite's going to be?
What's
your favorite?
Yeah, if you said blue raspberry, then blue raspberry. My favorite, and I always tell customers because I never have it for some reason.
You get that question all the time?
All the time, yeah. It's probably mango. So yeah, your next one.
Okay, so this is peach.
Peach, yeah.
We got
Peach is going to be like definitely more of a light, refreshing one.
Harris.
So for when
This
it's
is
really
so
hot.
good, dude.
And then the good thing about Italian ice is there's no dairy and there's no fat in it. So you don't have that heavy feeling in your stomach when you're at a baseball game or if you're at a music festival. If you eat that, you're just eating that. You're on the go. There's no stopping.
We got a question coming in. I'm going to keep eating Italian ice, guys. Determine where the show's going by putting questions in the chat box. Corbin Snow of Snow's Garden Center. Have you ever thought about getting your product in local stores? Give us the 411 on that.
Yeah, so I'm in one right now. So one thing I did when I was starting the business was I emailed every single Italian restaurant in the area. I looked at the dessert menu, and they didn't have like a sorbet or Italian ice. I went and reached out to them. And I don't know if you're familiar. I think you are with Mike Scotto of East High Street.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fabio.
So
yeah, he's trying to jump on board as a client. Hey,
Yeah.
we're waiting for you. Come on board, homie.
So he's in Italy right now.
Okay.
But,
maybe that's why he hasn't jumped on board yet.
But I'm in Fabio's right now. So if you go to Fabio's, you could they have up to 5 flavors right now. They have blue raspberry, strawberry, peach, mango, and they have chocolate. So chocolate's a little different one too. We use Hershey's unsweetened cocoa powder for chocolate, and I know a lot of people think Italian ice chocolate is different, but I mean it's good. It tastes just like a fudgesicle.
Do you have the scalability and the capacity to go into like 10 stores in the market?
I'd like to. I'm.
So you're saying that's a problem we will solve?
Yeah, that's
That's a good problem.
It's a good problem. It's being able to grow faster than the demand. It's it's ideal. But right now I'm at the point where I'm still in school full time. I'm in the guard, so I have so much going on and trying to manage.
How the hell do you
business.
manage all this?
It's crazy. It's a blur.
Yeah,
my life is. I'm doing I'm wearing so many hats right now.
Blue raspberry. This guy is in the National Guard. He's an entrepreneur. He just got married. He's 24 years old. He's grinding. He's building a future for his family. Just bought a house.
I bought a house about 2 years ago in the town of Gordonsville, and we just put in an offer on one in Louisa today. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Wrap it up, dog.
Yeah, hopefully that goes through.
In Louisa?
In Louisa. And
Why Louisa?
That's just kind of where the market and the price point was. We wanted a house with some extra bedrooms, maybe to expand the family.
Put in perspective the market in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. Blue raspberry is freaking amazing. These 4 Italian ice. I got blue raspberry right here. Go to the one shot, Harris. I got blue raspberry right here. This is bona fide, okay? Double dip in the spoon, okay? This is peach.
Peach.
We got peach in the house. All right, fellas, I'm going to get the blue raspberry into peach. This is so good. Pina Colada is super legit. And then what I like about Pina Colada, no, is that Pina Colada?
Yeah.
Is the pineapple chunks.
Yep.
And then you got mango. I just dropped blue Italian Ice on the microphone here. And you got mango's your favorite.
Mango's my favorite.
How about the marketplace, Charlottesville and Central Virginia, whether it's welcoming and how it is for entrepreneurs and how they've been embraced, how the market's embraced you?
Yeah, so the market, obviously, they like the Italian Ice. They like it. They want it there. One thing that I've kind of run into is, the red tape in the area. It's very difficult to get into some locations. For example, the downtown mall. That was one place I knew, like, I'm going to go in the downtown mall and I'm going to grind all summer long. And when I met with the city, it was like there were so many restrictions on what I could do with my cart. I couldn't have, my nice blue cart. I couldn't have my red umbrella, so that I was really limited on going to the downtown mall. It was just unfeasible for me too, really.
That's too bad.
It's very too bad. So I don't know if anyone from the city is listening, if we could change that.
The city is listening.
Yeah, so
City Hall listens to the show on the regular. Frankly, to see what I have to say about them and whether it's negative or not, I say a lot of negative things because, frankly, the city is not doing things the right way at a lot of times, and I'm trying to hold them accountable on this platform. I think putting bureaucratic hurdles, and I'm going to catch heat for this. This is not you saying it. This is me saying it. I have no problem catching heat.
Yeah.
I think making entrepreneurship, I'm going to straight up cut to the chase. Entrepreneurs and small business owners are the backbone of any community in the country. And Charlottesville, without question, it falls in that blanket. And when we take the Billy Farleys of the world who are trying to build a business and try to hire people and try to give back to the community by building badass product like Blue Raspberry Italian Ice, and we make it difficult for him to go to the epicenter of attention in Charlottesville, which, ladies and gentlemen, is the downtown mall, and we say it's difficult for you to get here because of this red tape, because of this hurdle, because of this license, because of this certification, and all this stuff that you had to do, that is going to hold back our community. We should champion and we should foster and we should support, and we should undoubtedly make entrepreneurs and help encourage them become the backbone of the community. And I'm frustrated to hear from you that you are considering taking your business outside of city limits because of bureaucratic nonsense.
Yeah, I have to. There's really
That's so frustrating.
Yeah, the downtown mall was my goal from the get-go when it was an idea. When I was 21, I'm just going to go in the downtown mall. I'll make so much money, I won't know what to do with it. And when I met with them, there's a list of, you couldn't even imagine how many restrictions on what I could have out there and what couldn't, but at the same time, look at the vendors that are on the downtown mall and are they bringing in all that cash you want? I have to pay meals tax on that ice, believe it or not. So then now that's 6% also too, that's going to the city. They would benefit from having me out there just as much as I would benefit from being out there.
Which municipality is the most welcoming then?
Shoot, I'm only 5 months old, so anyone that doesn't have hardcore licensing, the meals tax is a huge pain in the butt. I have to pay that on ice. I hate writing that check every month. It kills me. So that's 6% or 4% of sending it away. But it's really not the municipality as much as the personal property owners. Or like I said, one place that was really welcoming was the AD of Montreal High School. They've welcomed me with such open arms. The whole staff there. When I come there, I can't think of her name right now. I'm blanking, but when I pull up in my truck, her eyes go bright. She always says, "Do you have that peach?" So places like that. That's always encouraging. And now that I'm on the downtown mall or the Fridays after 5, I come sometimes. I've gotten really such good feedback wherever I go. It's just.
Nan is saying, your mother-in-law, don't get a brain freeze, Jerry. I've already gotten the brain freeze
you will.
ready.
You will.
This is so effing good. And you know what? You are inspiring, and I am so moved by the generosity here at the Italian Ice and your story. And I remember I started this business 11 years ago in a recession, okay? Out of my condo at the time, it was me, my dog, launching a business. And I was bringing clients into a bachelor-infested condo and trying to close deals while a rack of natural light was on the floor next to the fridge. Okay? And somehow we made it work, and that condo is a rental property, and we own a lion's share of this business on this building on Market Street. Where I'm going with this is, I dropped some on the table here. Where I'm going with this is, I know what it's like to be in your position. and I want to do whatever I can to help you. This spot outside of I Love CVille, I have control of that. The city does not.
Okay.
Anytime you ever want, no charge to you. If you want to set up right in front on Market Street, 10,000 cars go by, that's VDOT statistics. Anytime you want, you can set up there, you can do your thing, we'll cross-promote you and give you some publicity across the I Love CVille network anytime you set up. No charge, you make it happen. I love entrepreneurship, and I love you making things a reality. Carte blanche. I mean that. You have carte blanche here.
I'm going to take you up on that.
Please do. You can take it up there, right there. 10,000 cars and a ton of people walk by. You can do whatever you want.
And that's another thing that, like, expanding this business that I've had kind of difficulty with is finding locations to let me. Because same thing with food trucks. You know, they're limited to so many places. You go to Lowe's, sometimes there's food trucks out there, but that lasts for a couple days, and then they're like, hey, can you leave, you know.
Jessica Pasternak, who owns Kilwins on the downtown mall, watching right now. Jerry, I agree with you. You said it. So many hurdles, very sad. I would love to try his Italian ice. Where can I get some? That's a good question. Where can we get some?
So if you message me on Facebook, I'll get right back to you. Or email me, chillbillsitalianice@gmail.com. You place an order, and one thing about owning a business is your customer service has to be on par. So I will get back to you, and I will get you some ice. And I'll let you know what locations I'll be at. If you just reach out to me, I'll get back to you.
John Craig, CVille Hop on Tour says, Billy, you better take Jerry up on his offer for some free spots downtown. Free spot downtown for Chill Bill's Italian Ice on Market Street in front of the Macklin building, and I control those. No one's going to give you any grief. John says there does need to be some regulation on transportation, for example, having proper insurance and licenses prevent disasters, but there needs to be wiggle room for growth. Billy, keep it up. You are crushing it. Relay messages to Billy. Billy is the man. Camryn Childress, what a great guy Billy is. Even better bowler. He grew up on the lanes. Tell me about, you're a bowler? Talk to me about that. Camryn, I love you, homie. Greene County's finest right there, Camryn.
So I actually did do some bowling when I was a little kid. I have like a little plastic bag full of ribbons and stuff. But when I worked at Subaru selling them.
That's how you know him.
Yeah, Camryn worked there, and we used to go bowling after work and have, throw some back, and we used to always have such a ball.
Favorite spot in Charlottesville, Central Virginia, where we're going to see Billy Farley hanging. You probably don't have much time to hang right now, do you?
Oh, no, I got time.
Okay. Yeah. Where you hanging? Where are you tossing a few back then?
I got to do a shout out to Fabio's. I love Citizen Burger. We get out there.
Citizen Burger's great.
Yeah, whenever
we designed that logo here.
Oh,
the
really?
Citizen Burger Bar logo.
Yeah. 4
IPAs, a back of a napkin, and now it's I'd say probably the most highest grossing restaurant on the downtown mall.
Yeah.
Seriously. That's
crazy.
no BS. That's true story.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Where else?
Outside of Charlottesville, I've been spending some time at Coyote Hole in Louisa County by Lake Anna. But no, I guess you're right. I am pretty busy.
Winona Messner?
Winona Messner. She was my first ever manager at my first job ever at McDonald's.
She is giving you props right now. She says, so proud of you, Billy.
Yeah, thank you, Nona, for hiring me when I was 17 and I guess making me the worker I am today. She is a grade A hustler, and yeah, Nona is awesome.
What'd you learn from McDonald's? I asked this question to a lot of people that worked in the franchise environment. There's a lot of learning that happens there because the systems are so buttoned up, and it's like the KISS method, where it's keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
And that method and that scalability and those systems are what makes those businesses successful. What did you learn in the franchise environment?
From the franchise, I guess they're just their rhythm is always on par. But what I learned most from working at McDonald's, or what anyone would learn from fast food chains, is you get to meet some of the wildest people working there. We had people there from work release, so they're coming from jail in the morning and they're going to jail after the shift. You get people who, they're just down on their luck, and the only job they could get is McDonald's. So as a 17-year-old boy, you kind of get to see what direction and path that you want to take. If I remember being 17 and working there and thinking yeah, I don't want to have to close at McDonald's my whole life. I remember I don't want to stay till 2 a.m. mopping floors. So that was just kind of like a kick in my butt. You got to get out there and you got to grind, and you have to, you got to own it.
Your wife says, Wild Wing Cafe, Billy. Come on, dog.
Yeah, Wild Wing Cafe. That's Abby's favorite spot. We go there not so much anymore, but Saturday nights, karaoke, that is her jam.
Where'd you get this incredible work ethic from? Because you're a grinder.
Yeah, my mom, she has no time off. She's always working.
What'd she do?
She's a driver for John.
Okay.
So yeah, my mom, she never went to college. She was always a stay-at-home mom. My dad, he became disabled when I was 8, so that kind of like took him out of the labor force, and he's still disabled to this day. So she's more or less, his caregiver and is always working. And even my dad, he's disabled, but he works, his tail off. He volunteers at the Habitat store and Goodwill. But I guess from them, and then you want to surround yourself with people who you want to emulate. And man, I was telling you before, like my sister, she grinds so hard. I think it's just almost in the blood.
Yeah, his sister, Jessica Farley, I met her for the first time at Keswick when we were managing the Keswick Hall account. I saw her climb the ladder from the front desk, and then at the end of us managing the Keswick account, she was in meetings with us.
Yeah.
And then she parlayed that position to hospitality in D.C.
Yep.
And now you said she's
in Aspen right now. She just moved there about, I guess, a month and a half ago.
I want to relay this. I was thinking about this the other night, and I think this is something that's close to me and that I try to do. If you look at the people in your inner circle and you don't feel inspired, then you don't have a circle, you have a cage. I'm going to relay that again to you guys, and I want you to embody this and try to surround yourself with the right people. If you look at the people in your inner circle and you don't feel inspired, then you don't have a circle, you have a cage. I want to throw that to you, and I also want to throw, how do you deal with fear and vulnerability? I ask all entrepreneurs that question. This is no easy ride. Over 80% of small businesses fail in their first 3 years.
Yeah, and that's a stat that was always in the back of my head when starting it is, man, there's such a huge chance that this doesn't go anywhere. I'm going all in on it. And one thing that we discussed, me and Abby, was like, well, shoot, I'm 22 right now. If there was a time to do it, it is now. We don't have any kids. We have a cheap mortgage. She's now has a stable job where she's kind of bringing in some. So you really have to leverage and work with what you got.
Love that.
As for fear, one quote, I think Confucius said it, I heard recently, was every man has 2 lives, and the second one starts when he realizes he only has one. So when you think about that is, you do only get one life here, so, what are you going to make of it?
Another thing, blue raspberry is my favorite. They're all damn good. Blue raspberry is off the chain. Another thing I'm going to throw out there, your insecurities are the jail of your emotions and the jail of your potential successes. How we as entrepreneurs manage fear and uncertainty and insecurity pretty much is going to determine the outcome and the success of our business. I respect you because I think you are managing fear and insecurity extremely well. You also have the macro perspective of understanding no kids, not a lot of mouths, depending on where you're at. I started my business when I had no kids, was a single man. So I'm like, I'm going to go balls to the wall and make this happen. And then was working 80, 90 hours a week, still work similar hours as 80, 90 hours a week. So I'm going to throw this to you, and we're going to close on this note. And you've crushed it today. We're an hour in.
Thank you.
It's felt easy. Chill Bill's Italian Ice, guys, is freaking bona fide, and I know it because I'm trying 4 flavors right now. We'll close the program on this. The advice on everyone that's watching about starting a business, managing insecurities, managing fear, how about going all in, about putting your you know what on the line, and saying, I'm going to go, and I'm going to jump in the deep end, and I'm not going to look back. I mean, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. I mean, you said your wife's risk adverse.
Yeah, she tells me all the time, I would never do what you're doing.
Right, same with my wife. Absolutely same with my wife. She says, I could never do what you're doing here. But I think it's just something about like the DNA of a number one at a business, where it's like you just see it from a side that other folks perhaps don't. Yeah. Close on that note. Anywhere you want to go.
Sure, yeah. So you want me to look in the camera?
Sure.
Starting a business is, like Jerry said, not for the faint of heart. You really have to go all in on it. And like we were discussing before, you don't necessarily have to have a passion for what you're doing. I use this analogy all the time when people talk to me about it, but the people who clean the porta-johns, said some places they don't have a passion for cleaning porta-johns. They saw a hole in the market, and they're filling it. And that's what being an entrepreneur is really about. It's not going after exactly what you love, but it's just growing an idea. One thing that really gets me all jazzed up is, think of Amazon. You have an idea. Amazon started as an idea. ChillBill started as an idea. I Love CVille started as an idea. And now look at it. You put that equity and the time and the sweat and the tears and all that, and you'll grow into something that you never even thought you could have, and you'll only grow more self-confident every day that goes along with it.
Love that answer. Give that a sizzle reel, please. That's the fourth one, Harris. That's the last one. I thought the man was on point. Props to you. Seriously, you crushed today's show. You have a really good way with words. You're a very pleasant conversationalist, and you responded extremely well to stuff that I threw your way, really knowing no questions that I was going to ask you whatsoever, and you hit a grand slam today.
Thanks.
I'm going to close the show on this note, and I want everyone to listen closely, please. Just interviewed Billy Farley, the entrepreneur behind ChillBill's Italian Ice. And he talked about the frustration of being able to put his mobile point of sale in the downtown mall, and how it was extremely difficult through bureaucratic red tape and through regulations that Charlottesville City Hall had in place, and he was unable to do so. I'm going to have a little bit of perspective I'd like to share on this, and I touched on this a little bit earlier. Small business owners and medium-sized business owners and entrepreneurs, these are again, the backbone of the community, and the folks that are driving the economy, and the folks that are hiring the folks, and the people that are willing to put their life savings, their home equity, their credit cards, and everything else on the line to make something happen. And we should be embracing these folks and putting them on pedestals and championing these people, because these are the people that are going to make the community stronger, and the ones that are invested in the community and making sure that the community heads in the right direction. I think sometimes we end up championing folks that are, perhaps activists, as opposed to folks that are going to be like, look, I'm going to put all this on the line. And I'm going to put all this on the line because I see an opportunity, and this opportunity is going to create taxable revenue, it's going to create new jobs, and it's going to create a better future for my family, and in turn, a better future for the community. Bureaucratic nonsense and red tape and hurdles are the last thing that we need to do for early stage businesses, small business owners in totality. Okay? We should make running a business and being an entrepreneur easier, not more difficult. Okay? And I speak from 11 years of doing this. It is hard, okay? It is so hard. And we have had some success, owning a building on Market Street and doing this business. But guys, I take the effing trash out every day. I still clean the toilets, and I vacuum in here to get the dirt up off the floor. It is hard to be a business owner. So the last thing we need is our government and our municipalities to make it more difficult for us, okay? Because I'm working 7 days a week, busting my tail, and every single person that's successful that's a business owner is doing the damn same thing. And I'm sorry I'm fired up right now, but Billy really hit something close to home with me. I remember what it was like in 2008 launching this business, and it was freaking hard. And we should make it easier for folks that want to put their you-know-what on the line and create jobs and drive revenue and make the community better, not more difficult. It's the I Love CVille Show. I love connecting with you. We close the program the same way. Embody the golden rule. Treat others how you want to be treated yourself. Treat others how you want to be treated yourself. It's the golden rule, and watch as the community becomes a better place for everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Take care. Good work, homie.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
You crushed it.
Thank you.
You crushed it. Photo op over here. Judah's going to take this.